everybody, and welcome to another quick Variphy tutorial. The purpose of today's tutorial is to walk through how to identify as well as increase the Variphy memory on the Linux OVA. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. The first thing we're going to go ahead and start off with is we're going to navigate over to Variphy, and I'm going to show you how to identify some memory consumption issues, or if you're running low on memory due to increased storage, increased call volume, maybe you're storing more than you had originally planned. So the first thing we're going to do is log into Variphy. Once you're logged into Variphy, if you navigate over to the gear on the right-hand side, you're going to notice under the System column, we have a field here called Server Platform. If we click on that guy, what it's going to go ahead and do is it's going to go out and it's going to read some information on Variphy, some general information, operating system, the processors, and things like that. But you're going to notice this field or this category over here called Memory Consumption or Memory. So what we're looking at here is this is just actually reading a little bit of what's going on within that operating system as well as how Variphy is configured. So the main thing we're going to focus in here is our total heap memory. So if I take a look at this guy, I can see here the max available memory to Variphy is going to be 3.5 gigabytes. And that's kind of the Variphy OVA out of the box. And of course, that can be increased and most likely will need to be increased as your system grows in size and time. It all really kind of depends on your system specifications, how you're using it, how much data you're storing. But what we could see here is what's available to Variphy. And I can see I have 3.5 gigabytes available. All right, so that's a configuration in the Variphy OVA, and we're going to walk through how to go ahead and increase that. Now, also what I can see over here is what is used, and this is what Variphy is currently using. So out of the 3.5 gig, I can see that my system is relatively low, but yours may be different. You could be anywhere from several gig to reaching that 3.5 gigabyte mark, which indicates that, hey, maybe my system is getting a little sluggish, and I need to go ahead and add some additional memory, and that's what we're here to go ahead and accomplish today. So now that we know how much memory is available to Variphy, and that's to just the Variphy application and how much we're actually using, let's go ahead and increase it. So the first thing we're going to need to do to increase the memory is we're going to need to go ahead and shut down the Variphy OVA or the Linux operating system. If you're using the VMware platform, it's not going to let you increase memory on the fly, so I'll go ahead and show you that. I'm going to go ahead and log into my ESXi here. And we're going to navigate over to our operating system here. So this is my Variphy Google test lab here, and what I can see is just some basic information regarding the OVA. So if I click on this guy here, it's going to go ahead and just bring up some basic information. I can see I got 2 CPUs, total of 8 gigabytes available, how large my disk is. But the purpose of this tutorial is we're going to increase that memory. So your ESXi or your VMware platform may look a little bit different to mine. It all just depends on versions, but the concepts of what we're going to do here is going to be the same throughout the various versions. So for me, I'm going to right-click on this guy, and I'm just going to go ahead and edit my settings. You're going to notice here that I have my memory, but it is grayed out. I cannot edit the memory on the fly. I do have to shut down the operating system first. So let's start with that. How you get into your operating system, completely up to you. If you want to use PuTTY, you could go ahead and use PuTTY. I'm already in my VMware here, so I'm just going to go ahead and open up a console session to my system and shut down the Variphy OVA. So first thing first is log into your Variphy Linux platform here. And if you do not know the passwords, by all means, feel free to reach out to any of our Variphy representatives to get the passwords to the OVA. It's also on our installation documentation. So if you want to, we'll go ahead and put a link down to the installation documentation. So that way you can go click on there. That's if you haven't changed the login or the password to the OVA. If you have, that's something that you guys would have within your own infrastructure. Variphy does not house any changed passwords for you. So now that we're logged in, we want to shut this guy down. So pretty easy. For this, we're just going to execute a sudo, S-U-D-O, and then I'm going to type shutdown. And then I'm going to type the word now. That basically is telling the Linux OVA to go ahead and close out all of the applications and go ahead and shut down. And there it goes. So now what we've done is we've shut down our OVA. The console is exiting here. close that guy out, and if I go ahead and take a look at this guy, I'm now going to be able to edit those configurations. All right, so now that the OS is shut down, you'll see that we have the ability to go ahead and edit that memory. So we're going to go ahead and take this up, and in my case, I'm going to take this to 16 gig. So I'm just going to change this guy here to 16,000. If I wanted to change it over to gigabytes, I absolutely could. You may get a little flag here. This is basically just telling you how much you can change it to, and this is just reading what's available on your ESXi. In my case, we're just going to go ahead and keep it at megabytes and give this guy a save. So now that we have the OVA configured and a Linux operating system configured to be able to have more memory, let's start this guy up and walk you through how to give that memory to Variphy. So powered this guy on. From here, I can either just right-click and go directly to the console, or you can use PuTTY. It really just comes down to preference and how you want to actually get into the Linux operating system. So for this one, I'm just going to go ahead and use the PuTTY session here. So we're going to enter the IP address of the Variphy Linux machine here and log in with our Variphy admin credentials. If you don't know what the login or password is and you're using the basic OVA, you could take a look at the installation documentation on our knowledge base that will have the default password if it has not been changed, or if it has not been changed and you're unable to find it on our knowledge base, you could always reach out to support@variphy.com, and one of our SEs will be able to go ahead and give you a hand getting into this system. All right, so now that I am logged into the Variphy OVA, we're going to navigate over to the directory that houses our Variphy resource information, or houses where we hold assigned memory to the Variphy system. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and navigate to the directory. I'm going to type in cd, then a forward space, a forward slash, opt forward slash Variphy forward slash apps forward slash insight. All right, so that is cd opt Variphy apps insight directory, and then I'm going to hit enter. That's going to bring me right into the directory. So from here, I'm going to type in an ls. This is basically just listing all of the files and directories in this particular insight directory. And this is the guy that we're going to edit, Variphy.vm options. This is where we say this is how much memory Variphy can utilize. So to edit this guy, there's a lot of different ways to edit in Linux. Whatever you're most familiar with, you can use. I'm going to use an application called Vim, and that's Victor Indigo Mary. So for that, we're going to go ahead and execute the following command. Sudo. Sudo is a basic command that says give this application or file editor that we're about to open administrative privileges. It's really no different than, say, right-clicking on something in Windows and doing run as administrator. So I'm going to type in sudo, V as in Victor, I as in Indigo, M as in Mary, and then I'm going to type the name of the file. Again, we have the name of the file right up here. It's going to be Variphy.vm options. All right, and that's going to go ahead and bring up a file editor. And now that we're in there and we're editing the file, what we need to go ahead and change is this 35484M or this lower tier here, the XMX values. Now, in the file editor, we need to let the file editor know what we're going to do. So we're going to go ahead and hit the I key on your keyboard, and you'll see that'll bring us into the insert option. So from here, now we can navigate using our keys and just go ahead and delete the 3584M. And I'm going to go ahead and allow 6 gigabytes to Variphy, so I'm just going to change this to 6G. Now, whether it is a lowercase g or uppercase G, it doesn't make a difference as long as it is just a G. Or if you wanted to change it to megabytes, I could change it to 6,000 M, the same way it was before. Makes no difference. It's still the same amount of memory. So let's go ahead and change this guy. And again, we're just going to go with 6G here. So from there, I'm going to go ahead and hit the escape button. You'll notice once I hit the escape button, the insert option goes away on the bottom. So now in order to save this file, I'm going to hit the colon. You'll notice it pop up here on the bottom. And then I'm going to type WQ and an exclamation point. That is basically the save command for the Vim file application. So once I go ahead and hit enter here, we've now saved that file. Now if we want to take a look at it, we can hit the up key or we can rekey our Vim options and just hit enter, and you can see now this is saved as XMX6G. Now, let's say hypothetically you're in here, you're navigating around, you accidentally deleted something, maybe you're not sure what you did. It's very easy to go ahead and get out of the Vim application without saving as well. So let's just say I was in here and I keyed a bunch of things wrong. I need to get out. I don't want to save. Very easy to do that. Much like we did to save, I'm just going to hit the escape button. I'm going to put in a colon, and rather than going WQ exclamation, I'm just going to put Q for quit and an exclamation and hit enter, and now we did not save that file. If I go back in there, you'll see that it is still 6G. All right, so very easy to get in and out of there. So we'll go ahead and exit this guy again, and there we go. So now what we've done is we've updated the VMware platform with additional memory. We've now gone into the Variphy configurations, and we said, hey, here's 6 gigabytes of memory to use. The next thing we need to do is we need to actually just restart the Variphy service. And this is just so that Variphy can recognize the new memory. Restarting the service is extremely simple. So we're just going to type in another command. Again, we're going to start with that sudo because we want to run this command as an administrator. sudo. And then we're going to do an sh. And then we're going to type Variphy. And then all we're going to do is type restart. All right. And what you're going to see here is a couple commands. You'll see shutting down Variphy. Variphy is not running in my case. I actually already had it shut down. So now it is restarting Variphy. So we'll give this guy a second to come back up. We're going to log into Variphy, and then we're going to take a look back at that processing resource. So here we go. I'm going to just bring up my handy-dandy web browser here. And let's pop back over to Variphy. And this could take a second to come back up. That's not a problem to concern. The Variphy service is restarting. It has to reinitialize. So if this takes a second or two to come up, don't worry about it. If you're getting something like this where it can't reach the site, not a big deal. Just means Variphy didn't come up. As you can see, mine is just automatically refreshing, and it's going to go ahead and bring me right back into Variphy once the Variphy service is up and running. So again, once you change that and restart Variphy, if it doesn't come up right away, give it a couple minutes. Don't panic, and it will go ahead and come up. So now that we're back at Variphy, let's go ahead and pop over to our gear on the right-hand side and take a look at our server platform. So if you remember from back in the beginning, initially this was set to 3.5 gigabytes of total heap max memory, and you'll notice now we are set to 6, and we can see that Variphy has a maximum of 6 gigabytes of memory available. And that's it. That's how you go ahead and change the Variphy memory. So, hey, thank you guys. I appreciate everybody hanging out. Look forward to some additional tutorials coming out. Thanks all.